Hello everyone, I hope you are having a great and a beautiful day. We'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Sense podcast. The Sense stands for sustainability, education, nutrition, social justice, and the environment. I'm your host, Oloruntobi Adejare, and we are going to be looking at the prevalence of heart failure in Nigeria, which is our focal point, aside from the fact that it's a prevalent issue all over the world, but we'll be focusing majorly on Nigeria. And we have a good specialist who will be touching on that very critical issue with us. But we will be letting you know who our guest is on the Sense podcast when we come back from this short break. So we'll be back. Don't change that dial. Just make sure that you keep listening and keep watching the Sense podcast. Welcome back. It's the Sense podcast brought to you by the Africa Youth Growth Foundation, AYGF, and I'm still your host, Oloruntobi Adejare. Just before we went on that short break, we told you that we are looking at the rate and prevalence of heart failure in the society, especially as we celebrate Heart Failure Awareness Week, which is to bring to the fore the challenges that is coming about, especially when it has to do with more young people. These days, we hear of people under 40 collapsing, slumping, and their hearts are failing, and you're wondering what happened. Such a young chap with a bright future, and then you hear high blood pressure, heart failure. So this is the reason why we think that it is necessary for us to touch on how this is affecting young people and also pregnant women. And to do that, we have with us Dr. Adewumi Adesida, a family physician with the Customs Medical Hospital in Abuja. Good day, doctor. How you doing?
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. All right, so doctor, heart failure is a serious condition, and we're having more of a young people who are dying from issues of high blood pressure, heart failure, and we're also having a high maternal mortality rate as a result of the issue of heart failure. Doctor, how did you get to this point?
Yeah, let me nail it on the head straight. The reason why heart failure is common in young people in Nigeria and in pregnant women is because one of the reasons is because of the cause. It's been researched and discovered that in Nigeria and in Africa, the commonest cause of heart failure is what we call cardiomyopathy and hypertension. And what is cardiomyopathy? It's a heart condition that makes a heart to be big, not effective, but unknown. It's idiopathic. A lot of young people have it, but they don't know. So you walk around, you live your normal life, you don't even go to hospital for anything because you are not feeling any symptoms, and suddenly, maybe you are a little bit stressed, like for example, what happened during AFCON, a couple was like shouting, like stressed emotionally, and the heart gave way and he died.
Yeah, we did have so many people have that experience.
Yes, and on cardiomyopathy also, the pregnant women, young pregnant women, a lot of them are subjected to this hot water, hot pap, hot this, hot every time, in order to, maybe after birth, there is this belief in Nigeria and in Africa that, okay, everything you must do is hot, take hot water, bathe with hot water, do everything with hot water. This gives rise to what we call cardiomyopathy. it makes the heart of these young pregnant women to get enlarged and fail. So can you see the reason why it is young people and young pregnant women that are affected in Nigeria? Because they are not even aware of the heart condition called cardiomyopathy. Of course, hypertension is on the rise, and the reason is not far-fetched in Nigeria because drug abuse is everywhere, it's on the increase, which automatically most times leads to high blood pressure. Me and you will agree that, okay, most videos you watch on social media now, you hear things like on Colorado, on this, on that. Young people are into drug abuse, and it leads to heart failure. So most of them end up dying. So you can see that you have the risk factors in Nigeria. That is why it is common. Heart failure is commoner in young people in Nigeria and in pregnant women because of this reason. So, but I think I should give you an idea of what heart failure is.
Doctor, you know, it's really strange that to hear you say that, especially for the pregnant women, taking too many hot things is not so good. Because it's strange because what you hear when you're pregnant, especially in this part of the world, is you need to take hot water, hot this, hot that. If you're ever found taking something cold, it feels like you've done the most abominable thing. So it's enlightening to know that too much of hot things for pregnant women is not good. And it also brings to the fore that too much of everything generally is not good. Now, so that brings us to our next question, which says, in your experience, can you give us the statistics of young and pregnant women who have been at the high risk of heart failure, let's say in the last few years?
Yeah, worldwide, 64.3 million people are battling with heart failure. 64.3 million globally. And when you look at Europe, you have like 15 million people out of these 64. In US, 5.8 million. In Africa, we have more than this. We have more than this, maybe close to 20 million Africans are battling with it. And out of this, of course, Nigeria is giant of Africa. But the problem we have been having is we've not been able to generate data because for so many reasons. But one of them is there is a kind of, do I call it a kind of calamity that just came upon Africa and Nigeria. What is this calamity? We have what we call non-communicable diseases and communicable diseases. Before we were battling communicable diseases are diseases that are contagious, like typhoid, malaria, all those were the things we were known for. But there is a switch in our lifestyle to Western lifestyle recently, which is perpetuated by the same young people. So you want to eat canned food, eateries, and all those things, fatty food. Those are the things that are raining now, ice cream, all those things. So they are even little thing, you want to take the children, the teenagers, everybody out on to park, during festive period, everybody wants to take this, take that, and all these things are Western lifestyle. So this made this to shoot up the epidemiology, the amounts of the number of people that are coming down with non-communicable diseases, which these non-communicable diseases, most of them, which is hypertension, diabetes, they are the cause of heart failure. So you can see how everything is linked. So how do we now reconcile? This is something that just came upon us. We are switching from communicable disease to non-communicable disease. So we have the data on communicable diseases before. Now that we are switching to non-communicable disease, which are the main cause of heart failure. So we are just gathering our data in this part of the world. Unlike Western world, they have been battling non-communicable diseases, which is causing heart failure. So they have their data ready. Those are some of the ones I gave you. But we do have a data that in Africa and in Nigeria, at least in the first 3 months, if you diagnose someone, from my experience, also in practice, within 3 months, if you diagnose somebody with heart failure, depending on the type and the grade, because we have 4 grades of heart failure, and we have like some types of heart failure. Them. Okay. We have what we call, you have to understand the heart before you understand what heart failure is all about. Our heart is located in our chest, between our 2 lungs. And this heart has four chambers. We have the right atrium, the left atrium, the right ventricle, and the left ventricle. All these have their function. The right atrium collects the blood from the body, the oxygenated blood, the blood that is not having oxygen that has been used up by the body. So it comes to the right atrium. From the right atrium, it goes down to the right ventricle, which carries this blood, pump it to the lung. So the lung oxygenates it, you breathe in. Then when you have oxygenated blood in the lung, it goes back to the left atrium. Then the left atrium passes it to the left ventricle, which pumps it back to the whole body. That is how circulation goes, like this, then to the lung, back to the heart, then from the heart to the whole thing. So when you have this, you can now say where the failure can come from. The whole heart can fail. The whole 4 chambers can fail. Then it can be divided into 2. We have what we call left heart. We have these 2 components, these 2 compartments, and in these 2 compartments we have left, we have right. So we can have right-sided heart failure, we can have left-sided heart failure. So it can be everything, it can be one side, it can be the other side. Then it can also divide into 2. You can have the upper part failing, and you can have the lower part failing. So those are the different types we have. Then we now have grade. We have like 4 different levels of grade of heart failure. The mildest one, somebody may be living with heart condition, but it's not affecting the person in any way. And that is the most dangerous, because hardly you will use an average young man in Nigeria or young woman in Nigeria or a pregnant woman coming to come and do checkup. I want to check my heart, if my heart is even good. How many of us have gone for checkup and say, let me even find out if I have a good heart? Nobody. They just gave birth to you. Even the heart condition may be there since birth, and that you don't know. You are growing up, you are managing and so on. Then you are now old, maybe you are 30, you are living your normal life, and before you know what is happening, something just happened, and then the person gives way.
I think most of us are guilty. I feel like I'm also guilty. I'm not sure I've ever done a test on checking my heart.
So this is there. Then that is grade 1. Grade 1 are people that have intrinsic heart condition, but they don't have any symptoms. So they are living their normal life. Then the second one, they begin to have symptoms small, but it's not stopping them from living their normal life. They are good, they are still going up and down and so on. Then you go to the next one. The next one is any little exertion, any extra thing. We've incapacitated this person, he's breathing so hard, he's struggling to climb staircase, he has to rest, chest pain. Then the last one, even at rest, when the person is at rest, not doing anything, the person is still not okay. The person is breathing so hard, finding it, because when you have it at that junction, severe form, the person is close to the grave, except there is intervention.
So what are the specific challenges faced by our people here in Nigeria that compared to other countries? So more like the rate of heart failure in Nigeria compared to other countries, what's it like? Do we have it worse here, or we're still better off than what people experience in other parts of the world?
I think those guys have been able to, it has been around them for a while. So they have been able to create awareness, and that's why I must commend you guys for what you are doing. They have been able to create awareness. A lot of people are learned, the educational status is high compared to A. First, the greatest challenge is data. We don't even have a data system in Africa and in Nigeria. So you don't even know how many people even are living with heart failure. So that's one of the greatest challenges. I think we need to set up that data. Our data system needs to be worked on. That's number one. Then secondly, people are not aware. People are not aware of heart failure. I'm sure if you go to the streets right now and ask 10 people, what do you know about heart failure? Almost all of them will tell you that I don't know, except maybe the person is an health worker or something. So ignorance. Then another thing is the level of literacy. Then another major monster right now is this Western life we are adopting. That is even the greatest challenge that we're having. Then you now go for all the other lifestyle like smoking, alcohol, drug abuse on the rise, and so on. These are all the challenges we're having in Africa. And that is contributing to the high rate of heart failure among the young people. All
right, so we're wrapping up very shortly, but just before we let you go, we just want you to, enlighten us, sensitize us. What are some of the things we can do to mitigate against the risk of, heart failure, especially amongst the youth, like we're emphasizing, and also amongst pregnant women?
Let me start with pregnant women. The culture of pre-pregnancy checkup is very strange to our customs. It's very strange to Nigeria. And I'm appealing through this medium to everybody listening to me out there. Please, before you get pregnant, come to the hospital. Let us check you. There is something we call pre-conceptional care or pre-pregnancy care. What it means is that you come to the hospital, you see your doctor and inform the doctor. Majorly, we do it 3 months before the expected date of getting pregnant, everything being equal. You tell your doctor, I want to get pregnant. I want to prepare my body. Am I good? Am I fit to carry pregnancy? I'm sure many people are listening to me now and say, fit. Just get pregnant. And no. What if your heart cannot carry the pregnancy? Do you know why you should check your heart before even getting pregnant? Pregnancy is hyperdynamic state. When we say hyperdynamic, it means that immediately you get pregnant, everything even your brain, your heart, your lung, everything gets enlarged because they have to hyperwork to take care of another human being. You are going to be carrying for the next 9 months. So if your heart is already big or is deceased and you use it to carry pregnancy and the pregnancy increased the size of the heart, it can give way and the person will die. Yes, we have had, let me use as a case study, we have had to terminate a pregnancy for a woman that was having a severe form of heart disease. As in, because immediately the woman got pregnant, she was becoming breathless. In fact, she couldn't even do her daily activities anymore. She came to the hospital. What could be the problem? We didn't know. Then we started doing all the investigation and so on. And we discovered that she has cardiomyopathy. The heart is so big. In fact, if he carries that pregnancy, the woman will not make it out. So we have to do what we call therapeutic termination of pregnancy to save the mother's life. So I'm appealing to everybody, preconceptional care is key to preventing heart failure in pregnant women, our young women. Before you get pregnant, come, let us check your heart if you are fit to carry pregnancy. Then for the young men out there, please, our lifestyle is major. Many of us, we have sedentary lifestyle, we don't exercise. Many of us, smoking is on high side, drug abuse. You have a lot of people. Check up also, like I said, a lot of people are having, sorry to say the couple that died, most likely he has maybe cardiomyopathy and is not aware. And I want to use this medium to warn some of our doctors. Because I learned a couple went for NYC. He came for medical fitness, okay, before going for NYC, and I commend NYC for that, for saying, go and check yourself before coming, before we are going to subject you to 3 weeks of rigorous exercise. I learned he was giving the medical fitness, he went to camp and he started playing ball, and he slumped and he died. And when they did autopsy, they discovered that the heart was enlarged, cardiomyopathy. So these are all the issues. You need to do your medical checkup. Lifestyle is very key. If you're on the big side, obesity, we have different levels of obesity, type 1, type 2, type 3. We have overweight. You need to shed weight. Yeah, all these things go a long way. And then mental stress, all these things contribute. These are all the common causes of heart failure.
All right, so doctor, we are rounding up, but I just wanted to quickly touch on something so this issue of heart failure, is this something that we have also started seeing in young children also?
Yes, heart failure is also in children because we have 2 parts of heart failure. It can be congenital and it can be acquired. Congenital means you are born with the condition, while acquired means after
like hole in the heart and laryngomalacia.
Yes, some children are born with that. They have valvular disease, or the cardiac muscle itself can have problem. There are a lot of problems that a child can be born with. Another common thing in children too is rheumatic heart disease. A lot of children, you just see your child having all this catarrh, cough, and you think it's just like that. Some of them are due to that can lead to heart infection, which can lead to heart failure in the child. Even malaria is one of the commonest causes of heart failure.
Malaria?
Yes. malaria causes heart failure in children.
I would never imagine malaria and heart failure together.
You know how malaria causes heart failure in children? It causes their blood to go down, anemia. Then they go into anemic heart failure. And the malaria itself can release enough toxin, which can infect the heart, which can make the heart a kind of make the heart toxic, and the heart can go into failure. But commonly, it's common with causing anemia, making the child not to have enough blood because the malaria is heating up the blood, and then the child cannot, the heart is over laboring to pump the remaining ones, and before you know what's happening, if you don't act fast, the child will die. And let me chip in this, and I'm appealing through this medium. For our pregnant women, there are 4 ways you can actually prevent heart failure in you. Like I said earlier, pre-pregnancy care. Let's make it a custom. Come and check your heart. If it's fit enough to carry pregnancy, then register for antenatal immediately you miss your first period. Not 4 months, 6 months, 7 months that you are just coming to come and deliver. That's not antenatal. How do we take care of your heart throughout the pregnancy? When your body, everything is going hyperdynamic. So come and register at the first miss of your period, and let us be taking care of your heart and your baby and yourself. Then when you deliver, we still take care of you. We call it postnatal care. At least for the 6 weeks of delivery, we take care of you because the heart can fail in that period too. Because of the hot thing, hot pap, hot water, all this one. This hot thing, we don't know anything about it. So let me issue a disclaimer. We doctors don't know anything about hot things. Stop taking hot things. You can drink anything cold during pregnancy, even when you finish delivering. Those hot things give rise to cardiomyopathy, which leads to heart failure. That's even how many pregnant women die.
In places where medical help is scarce, access to medical care is not so easy, what is that basic thing that people can do to help themselves not to be at the risk of heart failure? Because, you know, we have some rural areas especially where access to medical care is very far. So what are some of the little things that you think they can do to care for themselves before they are able to, you know, access the medical care?
The first thing I will say about rural area, you know, a lot of these guys don't know much. That's the problem. The literacy level is low. The educational level is low. So they don't really know much on how to take care of themselves. And that is why most of them take what we call herbal concussion. A lot of them, you're having malaria, you have fever, you go to the bush, carry some leaf, make a kind of herbs and so on, all those mixtures. The dosage is not known, how they should take it is not known, and they carry it and drink it. All these things go to the heart, damage the heart, and they can lead to heart failure. So the first thing I will appeal, if there is anybody from rural area listening to this or have opportunity of hearing this, please don't stop taking herbal concussion. It's injurious to your heart. It can lead to heart failure. Apart from this, you know, most rural areas, they are so lucky. And let me say they are lucky in the sense that they eat fruits, they eat vegetable, which they don't know that it contributes to the heart health. So they should continue eating it. It's good for the heart. And they don't eat. Do they even have eatery in the village? Where would they see eatery in the village to eat westernized food?
Doctor, Pidgin is a universal language in Nigeria. I feel like that thing, that awareness you just spoke of, I feel like if you can help us say it in Pidgin, would really appreciate. Okay,
what I want to emphasize, let me put it this way. People in the village, you people should try and they do what they do before. And what they do before, things like they walk from your house to your farm. Maybe you get farm for a long distance and you go trek. Now good thing, continue doing it. And the way you go get to the farm, you go harvest fruit for tree and you go do vegetable, natural, and you go chop them. Please continue. It is very good. And the way you people, because how you go trek, go 3 meters, 5 meters, 100 meters, 1 kilometer, and come back, it's not likely you go get too much weight. So continue. And they don't get access to ice cream, to yogurt, to all the things we they chop for town that they kill us. So you are doing the right thing already. Continue with that one too. Right. The one I go beg you make you stop, they say all this about concussion. Some people for Yoruba they call it agbo. You just say, I know they feel fine, they go just carry leaf, mix them together, put them and drink them. Make you no do that one. If you dey sick, go see your doctor.
All right, thank you so much. It's been a wonderful time with you, Dr. Adewumi Adesida. We've learned so much from you, and we'd like to reiterate that just like the doctor said, we need to be careful with the kind of lifestyle that we're living, sedentary lifestyle, the kind of food we eat, and we should always ensure that we do our regular checkups. All right, we've come to the end of today's Sense podcast. We'll look forward to having you again sometime soon, Dr. Adewumi Adesida.
Thank you very much.
All right, I have been Olorintobi Adejare, and this has been a production of Executive Director, Dr. Aromes Salifu, and with me has been Princess Ebule Tijani, Gift Madi, and Jerry Ifeanyi Chukwu. Until we come your way again, ensure that you keep listening to our Sense podcast and catch up with all our activities at the Africa Youth Growth Foundation, AYGF, on all our social media platforms. Stay safe, stay healthy, go check your heart.